Buffalo.
Pregame.com.
Not dead yet. Welcome back. Pregame.tv. Scott Spreitzer, Steve Fezzik talking NFL. Hopefully for me, it will be a better week this week than it was last week. Bloody Sunday for me. Scott did a lot better. New England Patriots. Hey, this is the one game I got right. I had them against the Bengals. Now everyone talked about there's a passing of the torch. The Patriots are dead. Now people feel may have been a little premature. They're at Buffalo. 3-point favorite. Buffalo, they're staying in Buffalo. Big home field advantage. They're coming in off an upset win, coming back home. Good spot for the Bills. Can they get it done, Scott, against the Patriots?
Well, we were both on the Patriots. It's funny because a couple of Mondays ago, when Kansas City was thumping New England on Monday Night Football, I do Ken Thompson's show with them on Monday nights, and it was Ken, me, and Kelly Stewart, Kelly in Vegas fame, and we're doing the show on Monday night. And the game's going final, and, Casey blew the doors off of New England. And the line going into that Monday night game for the next week's game, New England against Cincy, New England was a 3-point home favorite. Well, the game goes final. When they put the line back up in minutes after the game goes final when New England lost, it's Cincinnati 3. It's a 6-point difference. And it was only there for just a microsecond. But I remember we're sitting there, and I said, this is great. I go, they've gone from a 3-point underdog at New England to a 3-point favorite based off of what we just saw with New England against Kansas City. And I'd sit on there, I go, next Monday when we're doing the show and we're talking about how last night New England beat the pants off of Cincinnati, I go, well, forget about what's, this line move that's happening tonight after they get beat by Kansas City. Now, no idea that New England's going to beat this team 43-17 as they did the other night, Steve. But the bottom line is that what they did, and I don't know if they can duplicate it this week, they went back to the basics. I mean, offensively, it was just old-style Bill Belichick, Tom Brady football, taking a lot of pressure off of some of the tackles. They put in some veterans up front who weren't first string on the depth chart the week before, just to get things back to their ship righted a little bit going up against Cincinnati. And it worked. And somebody obviously whispered to Marvin Brown that it was a playoff game for Cincinnati. And Cincinnati panicked and they lose. But anyway, that's what happened this past couple of weeks with New England. It was basically going from let's try to do this to let's go back to the basics and do what we can.
Absolutely.
Did I say Marvin Brown? I meant Marvin Lewis, by the way.
I was wondering who the hell Marvin Brown
believe it or not, I had a friend named Marvin Brown, and I've said Marvin Brown about 1 million times talking about Marvin Lewis.
Well, I'm here doing shows with you. There's limited time to watch all these games and do everything. You brought up, I work with Ken, I work with you, and you brought up Kelly was in Vegas was in the office. I was going to do a project with Kelly and Teddy Covers, and I just didn't have time, so I bailed out of that project, and that really absolutely sucks beyond belief.
I imagine.
Because I wanted to work with Teddy Covers.
Yeah, that's it.
No.
Wink.
Yeah. No, Kelly's fantastic. So, with this game, the more I think about, the more whenever a team has their, circle the wagon, save their season, like you said, back to basics, get the ball to Gronk. Mm-hmm. Then you got the week after when, okay, it's almost like a golfer when we're playing golf and we're lousy and we have a good hole. We're like, well, we figured out what we're doing wrong.
Yep.
Maybe we just had a good hole, And so
yeah, and that looks like it's going to be the case. Yeah.
Buffalo, home field advantage. It has been a frenzied environment there. Now that they are going away from Manuel and going with Orton, do you think the crowd this one of the most hyped crowds you're going to see all year long?
I think so. And the bottom line is, and this was another one we talked about last week a little bit on radio, is that they went from a non-NFL quarterback, at least at this point of his career, in E.J. Manuel, to Kyle Orton, who's obviously no superstar. He's no Brady or Manning, but he knows the game. He's a smart guy out there on the field. Whether his skills are at the level of an elite quarterback, they're not. The bottom line is he knows what to do as far as managing a football game. I hate to use that term too much, but still you understand what I'm saying. He ends up going 30 for 43 in the game against Detroit. And I know Megatron, he hurt his ankle, and the fact that he was in there for as long as he did took away from what I think Detroit could have done on offense rather than helped him being in there when he was injured. And then, of course, he eventually is taken from the game, may not play this week, which is probably a smart move if he doesn't. But with Kyle Orton back out there, at least there's a lot of weaponry on this Buffalo's offense, running back, wide receiver. At least they got somebody now who understands what he needs to do, how to buy his receivers time, how to look off the hot read if he needs to, or go to the hot read, but look it off and create a little bit of extra time for his receivers to get open downfield. E.J. Manuel just doesn't have that yet.
This is just like the NBA playoffs. I see where you're going. This is the old zig, zag.
Yep.
You're on the Patriots last week, and I know where you're going. Let's make it official.
Well, I was on Buffalo last week also. So the bottom line is I look at New England, and I'm going to take more of what they've done overall over the last couple of seasons and less of what they did in one particular game. Yeah, man, when this team's focused and they're looking to make a season out of it or a defining moment, they're still tough to beat, no doubt about it. They can play their A game when all things are right. But now the basic offense is back on tape where Buffalo can prepare for either. And don't forget what KC did to them that Monday night a couple of weeks ago. All they did was throw a bunch. All they did was throw a lot of bunch formations at New England on offense, and they just tore them a new one. Buffalo's got decent weaponry on offense, like I said earlier. They're also pretty good on that home field. 8-3 their last 11 against the spread. By the way, New England's only covered 2 of their last 10, 2-7-1 against the spread on the road in their last 10 road games. So I'm going to back the Buffalo Bills here. I think they get the job done with Kyle Orton at quarterback.
Very good. I like the play. I like, we've got a lot of Bills transplants in Las Vegas. Yep. We got some even professional handicappers and radio guys. Brian Blessing, huge Buffalo Bills fan. I think he's overreacting a little bit. He booked his plane tickets for the playoff games in Buffalo and got his tickets for the Super Bowl because he's coming aboard. But hey, they are much improved. Love talking the NFL here at pregame. Stay with us. We are going to be breaking down a best bet teaser. Got a 2-team teaser that I like this week for my final pre-play. Stay with us. Pregame.tv.
Good stuff.